Hi Thomas, welcome to your first session. Please feel relaxed and just tell your story in whatever order you'd like to.
Thank you. I'll try and do my best. About a week ago, I had issues with sort of like sudden noises I've been sort of reacting very strongly towards, and it's related to my incident I was involved in a few months ago in the city. And I'm beginning to see sort of like connections between sounds I hear from like trucks or people walking around, people shouting, or people just being people, I guess, and you sort of react in a very sort of like trying to like hide from those crowd masses these days. It's been increasing more and more about trying to avoid public places and trying to avoid people in general. I usually just go home, like end up going home in tears and going home because of just, you cannot sort of like fathom that I actually survived or didn't get killed in the first place, and why am I alive and others have died. It's kind of like, it's a very weird way to feel right now.
It must have been a really shocking experience for you when it happened.
Yeah, it was very unplanned, unexpected. It just happened. I was in the city a few months ago, and I was just doing a quick errand in the city, and all of a sudden I ended up being in the middle of a terrorist attack. A truck drove through the mid-center of the city and over a lot of people. And I was luckily I happened to turn to the left or to the right a minute before it actually happened, or it happened before it actually happened, and I look up and all of a sudden the truck just drove right by me, and you see bodies here and there and all charred up from the tires and stuff, and it was a very graphic experience.
So you really experienced this you saw it happening very close to you?
It happened right in front of me.
Right in front of you?
Because I was just happened to come up from a stairwell when I had just turned around to go do something else. I turned up again, and at that point I turned up, the truck just passed right by me at the same time. So I mean, if I had just come up a half a minute earlier, I would have been probably one of those casualties that were there as well. So you're kind of like thinking, why did I just go down the stairs just then, a minute or so ago prior, and then come up just a half a minute before it actually all played out.
Have you had any kind of help after this? Have you sought like psychotherapy or talked to friends?
Well, you sort of you explain to people that you meet, workmates or colleagues or people at home, that, well, this is what happened and I survived, but it's okay. I'm alive. Nothing happened to me. I'm one of those lucky ones, actually. You sort of trying to play it off as like it's a bad experience, but I'm still here. Then looking back, like if you fast forward like now, 6 months later, you begin sort of reacting to sort of strange sounds that are related to the actual accident itself, and you sort of like begin connecting the dots between, like, sometimes you have dreams and stuff as well, and you wake up cold sweating and everything, and you're sort of like shaking and shivering, trying to sort of erase what you saw from the dream itself. So you wander around the kitchen perhaps, or take a glass of water, and you sit on the side of the bed for a few minutes and try and gather your senses, and then try and sleep again. But then it's sort of like it's very vivid in your mind over and over again. Like you're seeing all these graphic images of what people just running and screaming, and kids, and they're very sort of quiet as well when it all actually played out. It was very quiet afterwards. And you think that, well, it's quiet now, it's going to happen right now. It happened already just now, or what happened? So you become more of in recent times, more of an introvert, or more of a person sort of hiding from the average everyday lifestyle you had before the accident happened. And maybe on occasions you maybe have 1 or 2 more drinks in the evening, sort of like to calm your nerves, kind of thing. So you're constantly sort of like trying to find ways to try and maybe to sort of erase it from your mind, or to forget somehow, but just one little thing you may hear or see during the day triggers it all over again. And it's just increasing a lot since even the time before it first happened. So you're trying to trying to work it out in your head. How can you get through this somehow?
It sounds really tough for you.
It was easier before. It's much tougher now. Mostly because you can't. I mean, nothing. Whatever you do doesn't help. I mean, you can drink something or take pills if you wish to, or whatever you want to do. But it just nothing. Because you wake up and the first thing you think about is that accident all over, that happening all over again, and still questioning, what if I just went up a half minute later, or just was that right in the middle of that street when it all happened, and I wouldn't be here right now. And why am I here and they aren't? Kind of like thing you're thinking back and forth. And
so you're both the lucky one that survived, but you also have this...
I'm the unlucky survivor.
You're an unlucky survivor.
In a way.
Okay.
Because you sort of feel like, I'm lucky to survive, but I'm reliving the incident over and over again. Those who've passed away, they don't live it. They've gone through it already. It's over and done for them. But me, who's living after the fact over and over in your mind, it's like, like seeing a very scary horror film over and over again. And every time you see it, it's like a new scary movie, but it's again and again and again and again. So then you begin taking things to sort of trying to sort of do things or try and take things to sort of trying to sort of not think about it.
Has it affected your daily behavior? Like, do you avoid certain things, or do you have new routines?
Like I never. It took me about maybe after the day of the accident, I didn't go to that area it happened for like I didn't visit the area for like I don't know 3 or 4 months afterwards. 'Cause I was just didn't want to see and be reminded. But because of television and stuff, they're constantly reminding you that this happened, this is a week anniversary, this is a month anniversary, this is a half year anniversary. You hear about the anniversary of when it actually happens, which is nothing to celebrate, but they kept sort of lifting it up in focus in the media because it's one of those sensational things that you talk about in the media, I guess. But I mean, I've tried to avoid, I've avoided it, and then when recently went back there, it's like you felt a very sort of deep sadness and a deep sort of like people living their lives normally again, but still, just 6 months ago, it was a bloodbath here, literally. And it's like you can see the places where all the bodies you saw when I came out of that stairwell, where they were even placed. We still see where they actually were, even if they aren't there, but you can still physically see them being there, all charred up.
So what kind of help would you like from me? What kind of therapy would you like?
Help me erase the memory. That's all I want you to do. Nothing else I need, just to erase the memory from all that. Just live a normal life again. I'm not trying to sort of always avoid people and avoid crowds. So I'm a very social person normally, but now I'm sort of being very, very antisocial and very sort of a recluse and just staying at home when I'm not at work or staying in my little safe place at home, whatever, and away from my regular life of just sort of being out there amongst all my friends.
Thank you very much.
It was my pleasure. Thank you for listening.